Welcome back to another episode of the X Podcast. I'm your host, Brenda Rigney, and I'm also a dream business coach. I work with midlife women entrepreneurs that are ready to launch and grow their dream businesses. And I also am the host of the Aligned AF community. Lots of things going on. I'm a mom, I'm an empty nester. What else do you need to know? Today, I want to talk a little bit about 6 toxic marketing and sales tactics that need to go. And yes, I'm going to use my phone to help me follow along in my notes. Now, what I mean by toxic marketing and sales tactics. These are the ones where it's like, get it now, clock down timers. You see it in email messages. I've been trained on them too. I've worked with coaches that are like, hey, make sure you put a timer in your email messages. The reality is, and I'll just say this, having worked with and gone behind the scenes into many online and brick and mortar businesses, is that if a customer wants to buy something from you, you're going to stay open. If a customer wants to get something, you're going to keep that electronic cash cart open. I ran retail stores for numbers of years. Our malls would have to close at 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock during the week. And if a customer was trying on a pair of jeans in the fitting room, we're staying open. Reality is this whole like buy me, buy now tactic of selling to our customers. It's just not fitting. The other thing that's also happening is countries, legislation, statutes are coming out, all because the online space has just ballooned. Yes, kind of post-COVID, but even before that, really over the last 5-10 years, the coaching space has ballooned to a $15 billion industry, somewhat unregulated, somewhat maverick style, whether it's Meta releasing its new stipulations around the health and wellness space. Like you can't actually say, if you do my program, you're going to lose weight. You can't say that anymore. Meta's going to take your ad down. If you're trying to attract leads into your workshop, your masterclass, your online course program, all of those things are going to go by the wayside. You're going to have to think more creatively about how to bring in those leads from an ethical standpoint. So let's go through some of the top 6 issues that I see in the online space. And hey, you know what? I'm going to raise my hand. I've been guilty of some of these because I've learned from coaches and marketing experts out there to do these things. And at some point or another, they worked, but they're not working now. The number one toxic marketing and sales strategy out there that I see is this fake urgency. Cart is closing, limited time bonuses, all these type of things. Now, here's the reality is you may have a limited time both. I think that is relevant when we're talking about Black Friday specials or Boxing Day specials. Like we're not going to run a Boxing Day special in spring. It's going to be called something else. I think, there's a time for that urgency factor, but if people are hearing it over and over and over again, it's kind of fake news. And we got to make sure that you're coming up with other ways to incentivize, inspire people to take action now. And that's going to come through, I think, just your genuine outlook, like as far as being authentic about why there are time sensitivities. Like, yes, maybe there is a retreat that you're hosting. So we're not going to do it in February. We are doing it in January, this specific weekend. The plane, the ferry, the bus is leaving at a certain time. So there is a time sensitivity factor that you need to think about, being mindful about overusing them because everybody's overusing them. And it just creates this unnecessary reaction. We want to make sure that also customers are informed and they're making good purchasing decisions versus, oh, I bought this offer from you because there was this time sensitivity, but I didn't really give myself a lot of time to think about it. And now I don't really want that offer. I think giving a little bit more grace, a little bit more breather room is going to be beneficial overall for your business, but more especially for your customers. The second marketing sales tactic that can be toxic and we need to rethink it and reshape it is this realistic results reporting. The 10x promise, you'll be $1 million richer by Friday. And I've been thinking about this a lot in my business because I do talk about, well, when you work with me, you can bring in monthly recurring revenue of 10,000 or more. And I do believe that's the case based off of the systems, the processes that I've put in place in my business. I think we have to be realistic. Need to put disclaimers in. We need to talk about if there are certain situations where this and this and this happens, you will get to that end result because I've seen it over multiple cases with clients, with myself that have gone on that journey. Over a training period of time, it's hard to present that as realistic results, a realistic result that all of your potential clients could get. So if you can, share detailed, verifiable case studies, report a range of results, including average improvements, and then highlight diverse metrics, profitability, time saved, client satisfaction. So it's not just like one metric, like $1 million next month. The third one I want to share with you is around balanced authority and relevance. Past achievements matter. Current impact is more crucial. So I can talk about that I've been in business and working with entrepreneurs and business leaders and business owners for the last 27 years, but there have been all different types. I've worked in $60 million businesses, I've worked in $25 million businesses, and I've also worked with business owners that are making less than $5,000 a month. So I think we have to be mindful about credentials. We have to be mindful around our experiences and our authority. I'll see people, put all the publications that they've been in. I've appeared in Harvard Business Review, Harper's Magazine, or Mademoiselle Magazine, or Fortune Magazine. And while those are great, how long ago were those articles? I've been in the Wall Street Journal. I've been on stages at LinkedIn as a keynote speaker. I have been featured in numerous amounts of HR articles. If you read those articles and if you look back to those stages that I was on, that was in my corporate career when I was a vice president. And I'm not doing that work anymore. I'm not on LinkedIn stages and I'm not writing articles for Forbes magazine or the Wall Street Journal. How is that relevant to the work that you're doing now? Has it happened in, say, the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Same thing if you were selected to be top female entrepreneur. When? 20 years ago? A lot's changed in entrepreneurship, in business since then. So make sure that the authority, the relevance, the expertise that you're quoting out there, that people are discerning between working with you or someone else, is still relevant. The fourth marketing sales tactic that I think is a bit toxic right now are these high ticket coaching programs. Here's one of the things that is challenging right now in the online space is every business or sales coach out there says you need to have a high ticket program. So then every coach, consultant, service provider is trying to create these high ticket programs. And then they're putting all this stuff in there that might be relevant, might not be relevant for their clients. But I think at the end of the day, the client isn't necessarily feeling the value for the price that they paid. And so that's where, when we think about sort of premium programs, what that means is it may require you to come up with something else versus adding in stuff to sort of think, oh, okay, well, I've added in this module and I've added in this module and I'm going to give you this one as a bonus. And they're supposedly worth, this one's worth $250, this one's worth $350. I don't know who's determining that. For me, it's more about how are you creating those personalized, meaningful interactions with your clients. What is that when that looks like one-to-one, if that's something you offer, or in group settings? And really making sure that it is unique and it is something that people feel great about coming back for time and time again. This morning, I was in my Friday networking call, and this is a free call that I offer. But, for some people, they pay for networking circles, networking groups, $5,000, $10,000 a year to connect in with people. And people are coming to my Friday networking call for free. And in the chat today, it was explosive. People were talking about how this is the best networking group. They love the conversations. They love the thought-provoking questions that I throw out to the group. They love the responses and hearing from everybody about those responses. And it's absolutely free. It's about providing that premium value to somebody that they say, there's nothing that can compete with this. There's nothing that stacks up to this. The fifth toxic tactic that I think is out there right now in the marketing and sales space is this embracing this realistic positivity. Now, especially in the world of entrepreneurship, there are days where there's nothing positive. I'm trying to I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel to try and find some hope, some type of inclination for me to want to do this again tomorrow. I would much rather come off with that type of attitude and that realistic expectation with my clients around this personal, professional growth journey that they're on as entrepreneurs than saying that it's all rosy all the time. How can we thread through some authentic stories of overcoming obstacles and how that's sort of still pushing you forward? I write content knowing that there are people that follow me week to week, day to day, and there's some people that never engage with my content, and that's totally fine. So I'm not going to shove everything down your throat in one podcast episode, in one YouTube episode. I want to make sure that there's a story that's building and that you can be a part of my journey. Strike that balance. I talk about the experience, but also set that momentum to help people that are listening to you or reading your content know that there's this fostering of genuine resiliency in the services, the programs that you offer. The sixth marketing sales tactic that I see that is just perpetually toxic right now in the business world, in the online space, is this appropriation of cultural practices and labeling them as being woo-woo, when actually they are rooted in historical indigenous religions, spiritual practices, the cultures have followed in small villages all the way up to urban centers for centuries. And they have made their way into Western culture through colonization, through hardship, atrocities inflicted upon these indigenous people that these practices have arrived from or derived from. Now we're making them mainstream. Please think about why you're using it. Don't mislabel it. Please call it what it is. Please share the history of the indigenous people that you learned this from, or the person that trained you who learned it from them. Honor it, be respectful of it, be mindful of it. I think it's really important to do this. These different types of sales and marketing tactics will come up in your business. You will hear from some type of coach, mentor, even myself at times, to use these. So I just go back to, how can I keep myself in check? I look at my vision, my values, and my goals for my business continually. And I make sure that the work that I'm doing, the things that I'm saying daily, weekly, monthly in my business really reflect those visions, values, and goals that I have for my life. When I'm connected to that, then I know that I'm on the right path. And that's what I would encourage all of you that are listening. If you have any questions about ethical marketing and how you can strip out some things maybe in your business, but still ensure that, yes, your email list is growing, your revenue is available for you, you're running a profitable business, and at some point or another, you can turn more of that evergreen light on in your business, then reach out to me and let me know. We'd love to welcome you into the Aligned AF community, and we'll see you soon.